So I've been reading a lot of Psalm 37 recently, and this is what it says. I'll just read the first few verses. Fret not yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. And then it goes on to say, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. And I just love those words, trust and delight. And, we're in a culture that is hurrying forward right now, that is always looking to the next thing. We find ourselves here as people of faith, even rushing to the next thing, the next event. And obviously this year has completely disrupted our flow and our schedule and our natural rhythm. And yet, for me, this has been a time to really just pull back and to delight in God. And, often when we think about worship, we think about praise, we think about just being still with God, like we do generally start to feel quite bored. And yet there is such a power in when we stop and then we enjoy God's presence. We enjoy who God is. As someone said a while ago that the greatest thing about God is God himself. The best thing about God is God himself. And I just love that, because I think we need to be reminded of just the sheer wonder and the beauty of who Jesus Christ is. Everything you see that is beautiful around you, everything you see that makes your heart leap, every just simple good food or just delicious coffee or just good conversation and jokes that just make you laugh like you've never laughed before. All of the simple things, mountain views and sunsets, all of these things are reflections, images created by God to show and share with us just the wonder and delight of who he is. And I find when I take the time to slow down and to delight myself in God, I begin to rediscover, and there's something in my soul that comes alive as time seems to stop still. The very thing that every single one of us would like more of right now, time as a currency just seems to elongate, and I find myself in moments with God. There is peace in the presence of God. Peace comes when we don't feel hurried, having to move to the next thing, but there is a sense of stillness, a sense of knowing that God is actually holding us. Joy comes when we take a moment and we allow ourselves to enjoy the presence of God. There's so much about God that is so wonderful, but it's only in these moments that we stop and we pause and we enjoy, because there will always be another thing to go to. But at some point, we're going to have to learn about the present. And when you think about the future, when you think about eternity, the Bible talks about we'll be spending eternity with Christ. Sometimes people are like, oh, what we're going to do is going to be so boring, and it's a funny thought. But what I realize is that there's so much similarity between eternity and the present moment, because when we are truly present, it's like we tap into the eternal, and attached to the eternal are all the things of heaven. It's all the wonders of heaven, all the glory, all the joy, all the peace, and all the love, and all the richness that God wants to get into your world.